Hello students, I am Dr. Amit Bhatnagar, working as Senior Research Officer in the Department of Agronomy at GB Pant University of Agriculture and Technology, Pantnagar, Uttarakhand. Most of the students do not know about the border row effect, and this is very important effect when we do the experiment in the field. This is very important phenomena, or we can say this is the a type of error in experimental area. What is the border effect and it is advantageous or not, it depends upon the situation. In case of border effect, plants grow vigorously and the yield is high. So this situation is good for farmer, but in experiment this situation is not good and it is eliminated. So what is border row effect and why it has disadvantage in field experiment but it has advantage for farmers? Why there is so? So it depend upon the condition. What is the condition? क्या फार्मर उसको ग्रो कर रहा है या हम एक्सपेरिमेंट कर रहे हैं? तो फार्मर के लिए तो ये एक अच्छी सिचुएशन है. बॉर्डर रो इफेक्ट से प्लांट्स बड़े होते हैं. क्यों होते हैं भी डिस्कस करेंगे. बट इन एक्सपेरिमेंटल एरिया दिस इज डिसएडवांटेज बिकॉज इट क्रिएट एरर. हाउ? सो first to understand about the border. What is border? So border in simple things, suppose it is a diagram. So this is the border. This is border. This line, this line, this line is border. Suppose it is field. So the crop is sown in this manner. These are the crop rows. Maybe wide spaced crop, maybe closely spaced crop like wheat, rice, pea, whatever the crop. This is the one field. Similarly, this is another field and the space is left for bunding or pathway, etc., or for irrigation channel. So this generally this is for irrigation channel. This area is for this irrigation channel or pathway or the movement of tractor, machinery, etc. Similarly, this is the another field area. So the crops are sown in this area. So this is the way, and we keep some distance between two plots, and this distance or the area is used generally for irrigation or drainage. So this is the way the crop is growing in the field. Now look here in the system. This is the border of the field. This is blue line is border of the field. So the plants which this line plant face do not competition from this side because there is no row, and the competition from only this line, and this line face the competition from this line and this line. Similarly, this line plants face the competition from this line and this line. It means the line which is at the edge or at the corner or at the border has more space and has less competition as compared to other row. Similarly, this line, there is no line, so this line has less competition. It faces competition from only this line. So it means the line which or at border have less competition as compared to other lines. Similarly, in this field, this line has competition from only this line, and there is no line, so no competition. So it means the line which are at the border have less competition. We cannot say there is no competition. No, it is not like that, but have competition. तो जो लाइन बॉर्डर पे हैं उनमें कंपटीशन दूसरी लाइन की अपेक्षा कम रहेगा, क्योंकि यहाँ केवल इसी लाइन के जो प्लांट्स उनसे कंपटीशन हो रहा है. इधर कोई लाइन नहीं है तो कोई कंपटीशन नहीं, क्योंकि ये लाइन बहुत दूर है तो इसका कंपटीशन इससे नहीं आ पाता है. सिमिलरली दिस लाइन देयर इज नो लाइन एंड द अनदर लाइन इज एट डिस्टेंस. So these lines do not create the competition or do not face competition for each other. It means the line which are at border have less competition compared to other line. So it means less competition, so growth is more, plant height is more, yield activity characters are more, tillering is more, and overall grain yield is more. So this is the first factor why the border row plant have more plant height, more trilling, and more grain yield. Second factor is that the space, this space is wide. Suppose this is narrow spacing crop, for example wheat, so spacing is about 20 centimeter. Suppose it is maize, then it is 60 centimeter. Suppose it is sugarcane, then this spacing is about 75 to 90 centimeter. But this path, this space is about 1 to 2 meter. So it means the two lines of two adjacent fields are at far distance, and that's why in this space there is a wide space, there is proper sunlight. Interception of solar radiation is better as compared to inner line. Inner line are at a distance of about 20 centimeter or 40 centimeter or at most 90 centimeter if crop is sugarcane. So solar light interception is less and competition is very high. तो जो अंदर की जो लाइन है वो बहुत क्लोज है, जैसे वीट है तो 20 सेंटीमीटर है, मेज है तो 60 सेंटीमीटर है, शुगर केन है तो 90 सेंटीमीटर है, और यहाँ लीव्स भी हैं. तो जो लाइट का इंटरसेप्शन होता है जो अंदर की रो में होता है, बहुत कंपटीशन होता है. सो दैट्स वाई कंपटीशन इज सीवियर फॉर लाइट. सो प्लांट फेस मोर कंपटीशन. So because of competition, plant productivity is reduced, means grain yield is reduced. While on the border row, the plants which are here have proper sunlight radiation. So that means competition for sunlight is less. So first, the competition from the adjacent line, from neighbor line was already less. जो बगल की लाइन थी, जो इधर की जो लाइन थी दूसरी तीसरी लाइन के प्लांट से, वैसी कंपटीशन कम हो रहा था. दूसरा को ज़्यादा वाइड स्पेस मिला है तो सनलाइट का इंटरसेप्शन और अच्छा होता है, तो उससे उनकी यील्ड बढ़ती है. अनदर फैक्टर इज दैट इनसाइड द क्रॉप हेयर इन द फील्ड हेयर इनसाइड द एयर सर्कुलेशन इज लो, ह्यूमिडिटी इज हाई. सो मीन्स द अवेलेबिलिटी ऑफ एयर for gaseous exchange is low because of more plant population, rows are close. So availability of oxygen or CO2 we can say is under competition. So oxygen is required for respiration and CO2 is required for photosynthesis. So plant face competition for both the gases, oxygen as well as CO2. While in case of border row, the plants are at border row here or these plants, they have proper supply of oxygen, proper air circulation, so means they have proper availability of oxygen and proper availability of CO2 for photosynthesis. That's why growth is more. So it means the plants which are at the border means these plant, I'm indicating border plant, this plant here I'm indicating by arrow. So it means in each plot there are two border row, this one and this one. So border row are the last row and they face less competition and more availability of solar radiation, more availability of air, oxygen and CO2. That's why their growth is good, plant height is more, grain yield is more. So this condition creates more yield. So it means the plant productivity or the productivity of this row, or we can say the yield harvested from this row is more than the other row. तो इस लाइन की जितनी भी पौधों की यील्ड होगी, प्लांट्स की यील्ड होगी, वो अंदर के जो दूसरी रो लें, तीसरी रो, फोर्थ लें, उससे ज़्यादा होगी, क्योंकि यहाँ के जो प्लांट्स हैं अंडर कंपटीशन. तो इसका मतलब ये है कि यहाँ का जो यील्ड है ज़्यादा आएगा प्लांट्स का. सो दिस इज द रीज़न दैट बॉर्डर रो प्लांट्स हैव मोर यील्ड एंड दिस इफेक्ट इज नोन एज बॉर्डर रो इफेक्ट. So this situation is good for farmer, happy situation for farmer, because of border row they get more yield. But the problem is that when we provide the path for irrigation channel or for movement of machinery or drainage channel, then land is utilized. It means this area is unsown. So yield is increased from this row but not so much that compensate by this अनसोन एरिया. तो ये जो यील्ड बढ़ती है इतनी नहीं बढ़ पाती है. अगर हम इसमें रो ग्रो करते, कोई सोइंग करते या 2 या 3 रो आती तो उस समय यील्ड मिलती. लेकिन ये जो बॉर्डर की जो रो की यील्ड है वो उसको कंपनसेट नहीं कर पाती है, इसलिए हम इसको बहुत ज़्यादा वाइड नहीं करते हैं, वाइड इनफ फॉर इरिगेशन एंड ड्रेनेज और मूवमेंट ऑफ ट्रैक्टर मशीनरी एटसेट्रा. सो दिस इज द बॉर्डर रो इफेक्ट. So because of border effect, yield is increased. So in each plot there are two border row, but the another field is in this direction also, here also, and here. Now these plant here, the plant which are present here, and this is the pathway, this is the pathway. So it means the plant which are at the border of other side also have more area. So it means their yield is increased. So it means the border row are at two sides, but all the four sides of the plant have more yield because of more availability of area. And we can understand by this diagram. Suppose this is the one field and another field here. The layout in the field is like that. Number of plots are there and irrigation channel is given. This is irrigation channel, and suppose this is the layout of the field. So here this is the border row, this is the border row, and here also this is also border row. Though the plants are shown in this manner, but the plants which are present at the last or at the first, suppose the showing is this manner, this is the first plant and this is the last plant, also has more area. So means more availability of space, more availability of light, more interception of solar radiation, more availability of air, means more productivity. Similarly, when irrigation is given in the channel, irrigation is given through the channel, these rows get more moisture, the side row get more moisture. So it means more growth of the plant. So this is the border row effect. So border row effect because of less competition, as there is no crop line adjacent or one side. Number two, more interception of sunlight. Number third, more availability of air or more gaseous exchange, and more availability of irrigation water. So all these factors create the favorable condition. So there is more tillering. अगर ये टिलरिंग वाली कोई क्रॉप है, वीट है, तो इधर बहुत ज़्यादा टिलरिंग होती है इन प्लांट्स में, और अगर ब्रांचिंग है, मस्टर्ड है, तो बहुत ज़्यादा ब्रांचिंग होती है इन रोज में. तो इससे यील्ड क्या होती है, बढ़ती है, एंड दिस इज नोन एज बॉर्डर रो इफेक्ट. सो बॉर्डर रो अगर हम प्लाट में देखें तो हमें दो नज़र आती हैं, ये याली रो और ये रो, लेकिन एक्चुअल में ये प्लांट्स जो इस वाले ये जो रोज मैं अगर बना रहा हूं, तो इसके जो पहला प्लांट होगा इसका लाइन का, और इसका जो आखिरी प्लांट होगा, जैसे ये लाइन है, इसका फर्स्ट प्लांट, दिस वन, एंड लास्ट प्लांट हैज मोर एरिया बिकॉज वन साइड इज वाइड. तो इसका मतलब कि जो बॉर्डर रो इफेक्ट होगा चारों तरफ होगा. तो बॉर्डर रो के नाम से तो इंडिकेट हो रहा है कि दो ही लाइन हमें नजर आ रही है, लेकिन चारों तरफ का जो प्लांट्स होंगे प्लॉट के, दे will produce more yield, more tillering, more branching. So it means that this row, and the plant here in this manner and in this manner. So this is the border row effect on all four sides. So because of this border row, more productivity is there. तो आपको समझ आ गया होगा कि क्यों बॉर्डर रो के प्लांट्स को ज़्यादा प्रोडक्टिविटी होती है, ज़्यादा प्लांट हाइट होगी, ज़्यादा टिलरिंग होगी, ब्रांचिंग होगी, क्योंकि ये इरीगेशन चैनल है, पास जा रहा है, तो उनको ज़्यादा मॉइस्चर मिला, साइड चौड़ी है, सोलर रेडिएशन का इंटरसेप्शन ज़्यादा हो रहा है, फोटोसिंथेसिस ज़्यादा होगा, एयर ज़्यादा मिल रही है, एयर सर्कुलेशन हो रहा है, गैसेस एक्सचेंज अच्छा होगा, ह्यूमिडिटी ज़्यादा नहीं बनेगी, मेंटेन रहेगी, तो ज़्यादा स्पेस मिल रहा है टिलरिंग के लिए, ब्रांचिंग के लिए. और इस साइड में कोई प्लांट्स नहीं है, इस प्लांट्स के लिए इधर बहुत दूर प्लांट्स हैं कंपटीशन के लिए, तो इनका जो बॉर्डर के जो प्लांट्स होते हैं वो कंपटीशन भी दूसरे प्लांट से क्या रहता है, कम रहता है. सो दिस इज नोन एज बॉर्डर रो इफेक्ट. बट इन एक्सपेरिमेंट दिस बॉर्डर रो इफेक्ट इज नेगेटिव. क्यों नेगेटिव है? इट हैज डिसएडवांटेज. द रीजन इज दैट सपोज वी आर conducting experiment, suppose it is 40 kg nitrogen and it is 60 kg nitrogen plot and it is 80 kg nitrogen plot, suppose. So the border row plant here will produce more yield, these plants will produce more yield, this border plant will more produce. Similarly these plant These plant and this plant will produce more yield because of less competition and more availability of space, light, air, moisture, etc. So it means this plant on the border will not produce the realistic effect of 40 kg nitrogen because of लेस कंपटीशन एंड मोर अवेलेबिलिटी ऑफ रिसोर्सेज. तो जो बॉर्डर प्लांट्स हैं, जो हमारा ट्रीटमेंट हमने लगाया है एक्सपेरिमेंटल एरिया में, जो बॉर्डर के प्लांट्स हैं उनकी ज़्यादा टिलरिंग होगी, उनकी ज़्यादा प्लांट हाइट होगी, ज़्यादा ब्रांचिंग होगी, पॉट्स बड़ी आएंगी, मेज का प्लांट है तो बहुत बड़ा हो जाएगा, कॉप्स बड़ी हो जाएंगी, तो उसकी यील्ड ज़्यादा आएगी. तो अब ये जो इफेक्ट है, दिस इफेक्ट इज नॉट ड्यू टू 40 kg नाइट्रोजन. On the border, this effect is not 60 kg nitrogen. On the border, the effect is not due to 80 kg nitrogen. तो हम क्या करेंगे ऐसे केस में, अगर हम इसकी भी यील्ड ले लेंगे तो हमारा इफेक्ट कम हो जाएगा. इट मीन्स इफ वी इंक्लूड द बॉर्डर रो, इट मीन्स द यील्ड इज मोर एज कंपेयर टू द ट्रीटमेंट इफेक्ट. तो हम अगर बॉर्डर रो के प्लांट्स को भी यील्ड में इंक्लूड कर लेंगे तो वो ट्रीटमेंट इफेक्ट से ज़्यादा आ जाएगा, क्योंकि ट्रीटमेंट का इफेक्ट तो कहाँ आएगा, जहाँ प्लांट्स में प्रॉपर कॉम्पिटिशन होगा inside here. So that's why we remove the border row to achieve the realistic effect of treatment. तो जब हम एक्सपेरिमेंट करते हैं, प्लॉट्स बनाते हैं, तो चारों तरफ के प्लांट्स को हम दो साइड की रो को और आगे पीछे की जो प्लांट्स हैं उसको हम रिमूव कर देते हैं, हटा देते हैं, ताकि जो रियलिस्टिक इफेक्ट है, जो वास्तव में जो रियलिस्टिक कॉम्पिटिशन है, वी कैन गेट. Because in border row there is no realistic effect of competition, there is more availability of resources, that's why plants are vigorous, more yield. तो एक्सपेरिमेंट के लिए ये हमारे लिए क्या हो गया, डिसएडवांटेज हो गया, ये एक नेगेटिव इफेक्ट हो गया. हालांकि यील्ड बड़ी है, लेकिन ये बड़ी यील्ड फार्मर के लिए तो सही है, लेकिन हमारे एक्सपेरिमेंट के लिए इसलिए गलत हो गया क्योंकि हम अगर 40 kg नाइट्रोजन का इफेक्ट देखना चाहते हैं तो हमको ज़्यादा यील्ड मिल जाएगी. 40 kg नाइट्रोजन का इफेक्ट रियलिस्टिक नहीं रहेगा. इसी तरह से 60 kg नाइट्रोजन में हमें ज़्यादा यील्ड मिल जाएगी और 60 kg नाइट्रोजन का हमें रियलिस्टिक इफेक्ट नहीं मिलेगा, उससे ज़्यादा मिलेगा, तो हमारा जो इफेक्ट जो है ज़्यादा नजर आएगा. सो दैट्स वाई in case of field experiment we remove the border line and border plants. So it means the area is left, is not included in the experimental area. So this is the border effects, and because of this border effect, plant height is more tillering, more branching, and definitely more yield attributes, more growth, more yield. And this concept of border effect is used in paired row planting, particularly in tillering crop and branching crop. How? Suppose this is the normal sown crop. Normal sown crop, suppose it is normal sown, for example, it is a normal sown at 50 centimeter. Suppose a crop is sown at 50 centimeter. So plants are at a regular distance of 50 centimeter. So plants are under competition. But if the paired row is there, suppose paired row are about in paired row one row is close, ये row यहाँ close आती है, this row come here, and we maintained this row close to here by 10 centimeter or 15 centimeter. Suppose it is replaced 40 centimeter, and this is 40 centimeter. Now this space is 60 centimeter. Similarly, we can keep it 30 centimeter, 20 centimeter displacement to this side and this 30 centimeter, and the space is 70 centimeter. So now pair row, the rows are adjusted at 30 centimeter and the space is maintained 70 centimeter to have a similar geometry. Two row spacing 100 centimeter, 50 plus 50, two row, here two row, 30 plus 70, 100 centimeters. So in this way, planting geometry is maintained, and we can change the planting geometry. It is not essential or not mandatory to maintain same planting geometry. उसको हम pair row को बना सकते हैं. Now this is wide space, and this space is for irrigation, for air circulation, for more light interception. So this technique is very good for those crops which are tillering and have competition for light. For example, sugarcane. So paired row planting is very highly beneficial in case of sugarcane. In sugarcane, this is 90 centimeter. This is 90 centimeter spacing, and the height of sugarcane is very high plant height, more canopy. So light competition is severe in case of sugarcane field. So in case of sugarcane field, the paired row may be made so that then this paired row, this is 90-90, 180. So we can make a pair of like 60 by 120 centimeter, so that 60 plus 120 remain 180. So it may be 60 centimeter, then maintain the spacing 120 centimeter, then 60 centimeter, then maintain 120 centimeter, like that, maybe. Or other geometry can be maintained, then that is 120 centimeter, this is 60 centimeter. Now the plants growing here get more light. Plant get more light, here more light from both the side, and the irrigation is given in this space also, or maybe given in this space, so more availability of moisture. And now the line, these two lines, if we look into these two lines, so these two lines get more solar radiation, and competition here is from inside the row. But at the outer side, more space. So more space for tillering, more space for leaf development, more space for air circulation, more space for light interception, which is essential for photosynthesis. So in this way, the tillering crop, long crop, high statured crop can be planted to get the advantage of border row effect. So this is the border row effect, that the plants at the border get more resources and have less competition. And this concept is used in paired row planting. So this was about the border row effect. Now अब आपको पता चल गया होगा कि border effect क्या होता है, और experimental field में this has negative role because it create experimental error. It produce more yield and cause the error. While in farmer field it has advantage because farmer get more yield. So this concept can be used in paired row planting. So this is the border row effect. Thank you very much.